Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching episode 2 of the Smallin and Ballin series on Frühling. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, we have been busy doing some contracts. And right now, we're in the process of finishing up one of the contracts. As you may or may not have seen, we were using a harvester. Yes, that's the answer to your question. Yes, I bought it. You betcha. I also bought a couple other things. To say the least, oh man. I've been T-boned out here a ton of times already, and I'm not liking it. Not liking it. These wide tires like that, even though they give me great grip, they have been getting me caught from time to time. Now, one of the things I am going to end up doing here is I will end up... I'm gonna hook this thing really sharp. This is one of those articulating ones, and I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really feel like I have the confidence. Flip that off to the left side. Perfect. So this is contract right here. What I am gonna end up doing is I am going to stop and see how much we actually have as soon as the contract gets fulfilled. We'll take a quick little peek at that, because if there is a ton of leftover bonus harvest, as I like to call it, if the bonus harvest is pretty darn high, then I'm going to want to hang on to it and sell it for a later time. But it's way low, so we'll just sell what's left. Okay, yeah, because it was only going to be very, very little amount. Now, I do have about 300 liters that did not fit into here that's actually back at the farm. So that's... I just left it in the silo for right now, instead of trying to configure a way to get out here. At this point, it's not worth the trip to get back. So let's head back to the farm, and we'll talk about a couple things that's going on here. Oops. Yeah, I don't want to get hit. We're going... Nope. Nope. Well, what the heck? Am I just in the right spot? Going for it. They can wait. They can wait. They can wait. You see me. You see me. Oh, boy. Okay, so. We took care of a couple contracts, as you've seen as well there. This one here was the last one that we had to do. And actually, with that being said, I just remembered. Let's come in here and accept this contract really quick. Complete. Alright, and then we do have a fertilizing contract on field 8 that we're going to take care of here in just a minute. Alright, perfect. So we got ourselves a couple extra bucks. Now, contracts have been what I've been jumping into. They what I've been trying to do here. What did we go ahead and buy? We did buy that John Deere harvester that was out there. We bought the header. We bought a header trailer for it as well. And I also did buy a cultivator, because there was the one cultivating contract that was available to us. So we jumped on it, and I decided to take it. Another thing that we ended up buying was this field. I'm not sure what field number is this. Field 12. We ended up buying ourselves Field 12 here. I'll be honest with you, this was not my first choice, but I decided to get it out of convenience of how close it was. This trailer that we got right here, we're leasing this thing for the time being. So I'm not sure how long we're going to hold on to it. I'm not sure what we're going to end up doing with it or anything like that. So, oh man, I figured for the time being, we'll just go ahead and lease it. And if we get that field that's super close, I can at least take the harvest, the sorghum that we get off of that, and at least maybe run that back here if worse comes to worse. I mean, I'd rather have a trailer at that point, but I guess time will tell. Time will tell with that. So what did we get here? What did we get? We got this cultivator right over here, the Lizard Dosa Mindler. It was $7,500 to buy, 3.5 meters, and is 90 horsepower. This is by Mert. It is on the Mod Hub, but it is one of the PC-only ones that are on the Mod Hub. So that's what this guy is right here. Now, coming over here, we have this header trailer, or that header. And then we have this guy right here, this John Deere 105 harvester. Not too shabby at all, pretty darn slick, if I do say so myself. This harvester right here is $1,700, or $17,000, I should say. I spent extra $500 and got some weighted wheels on there, so that's what that is. The header over here is 7.6 meters wide, and that guy right there is 105 horsepower. Well, that goes into doing with the name. This one is not on Mod Hub. This is a third-party website one, and it is by Glenn006 Modding. I'll go ahead and I'll throw the link for this one down below. I also have done a mod review on this one, so I'll leave a link somewhere here for you guys to go ahead and check that out as well. But that's what we got. That's what we're rocking and rolling with. We have accrued just a little bit of debt along the way because of that. I did have to take out a little bit more, so now we're up to $75,000 in the hole. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little worried, but I think we'll be okay in the long run. My thought process is that by buying this field over here, now we're not going to get rich off this one instantly. I know that. I know that's exactly what's going to end up happening. We're not going to get rich off this field instantly. And currently it is August. Now, coming over here and taking a look at the prices, and this is one of the things that I am going to be doing a lot on here. Just because I can't sell thousands, hundreds of thousands of liters of anything on this map. Fields aren't large enough. So I'm going to be holding on to things and selling them when they're at their peak price or near their peak price. We're in August. We're just about at the very bottom of what's going to end up happening here. We'll end up holding on to the sorghum all the way to January and sell it when it's all topped out. So it's unfortunate. It's going to be a delayed investment. It's going to be a delayed endeavor. But as you can see here, this field here is 100% fertilized. Yield bonus is 83%. It just needs plowing, which pretty much makes up for the difference of all that right there. So all in all, should get a decent yield off of that. I'm excited for it. But until we get to that point, the only thing we can really continue to do, okay, yeah, 338 liters of oats are in there. Pretty much the only thing that we can go ahead and do as of this moment is contracts. It's not glorious work, but it's honest work. I guess that's the best way I can look at it. And that's it. I mean, we just gotta bide our time until time goes on. We may end up skipping a couple days if there are no contracts available to us. I mean, I don't want to continue to take out loans or lease equipment or things like that. I might, in order to go ahead. Ultimately, what it has to happen is the price has to make sense. I can't go ahead and take a contract for $900 and then turn around and lease something for over $1,000. It just doesn't make any sense. I can't do that. I have to be as incredibly efficient with this as I possibly can. And if that means I skip days because there are days I just can't do any contracts, well, that's what I have to go ahead and do. The good news is we can continue to go ahead and fertilize, and the amount I spent on the fertilizer, the amount I'm spending on leasing this fertilizer spreader, it's all working out. I've already made back that money, made back some of my investments that I've had in that, so that's good. We're doing good that way. It's just everything else that I got going on right now, that I have leased, that I have taken out extra money for. That's where I'm getting a little nervous, and I honestly, I shouldn't be getting nervous this early in the game, but well, I've kind of done some things that are a bit iffy, to say the least. A little bit iffy. Time will tell. We'll see how things are going with that. Gosh, I do like this thing, though. It really makes, especially on this map, it really makes getting all these contracts done pretty quick. Pretty quick and pretty slick. Alright, so that guy's done right there. Let's go ahead and accept this contract as well. Collect. Alright. Made a couple more $1,000. It's a slow process, but it's all we got for now. So I guess at this point, guys, I'll probably keep rocking and rolling. If a contract pops up, I'll take it and rock it out. But I guess until something else pops, I think I'm going to step away for a minute or two. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys all doing? So, took on another contract. Did a couple contracts last night before anything got too crazy. I'm actually going to come out of here really quick so I don't run over many stuff here. As you can see, our field here is done. It's ready to rock and roll. We're ready to harvest this thing. But I'm going to go take care of this other contract first before I jump into this. One of the things that I forgot was I actually woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, got myself up, got myself out the door, got myself rocking and rolling into my favorite red tractor, and I forgot the tractor has no headlights. Oh, shoot. Well, I guess that's what you end up having happen. And speaking of which, I completely forgot about this. I forgot to let you guys know that that tractor right there is actually part of a pack of tractors, and they are the International 06 series of tractors by JCL's Farm Equipment. Now, again, that is another one of those mods that is not part of the mod hub. It is third party, and I will go ahead and along with that, I will leave a link in the description down below along with the other things. But with that being said, my question for you guys would be, what do you guys think, or I should say, how do you feel about third-party websites when it comes to being able to download mods? And in your comment, let me know what you are rocking on. Are you on PC or are you on console? Because I think I may know the answer. My personal opinion on that particular scenario is I come down in, I don't mind the third-party websites for going ahead and downloading it. Even when I was playing just on PS4, I still didn't really mind the downloads or people downloading other things. It made me want to get it on PC, get the game on PC. At the time, it was FS22. And I guess it kind of gave me motivation to get it. But now that I do have PC, I take a look at a lot of these third-party sites, and to me, it gives me a lot of hope. It gives me a lot of excitement for what is there, what could potentially be coming down the line, what is something that we see happening here. Because what I've noticed by watching a lot of this stuff, if I'm seeing something that's on a third-party website, and it is very, very popular, that is something that is more than likely eventually going to make its way to the Mod Hub, where you can go ahead and get it for everything. So I'm pretty excited about some of those different items. It's a good litmus test. It's a good indicator to see where things are going, where the mindsets are of the modders. So I think it's a good thing in that regards. Now, again, like I said before, I did start off playing on PS4, and I do understand that sometimes it can be frustrating that there are some mods that console players don't have. But I think that's one of the things we just know, and it's an unfortunate reality that we just kind of have to deal with. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, back on my Kleinsland series that I ended up doing here, I ended up giving you guys a breakdown of how much money we made every single day, breaking it down nuts and bolts, giving us a running total and everything like that. I don't think I'm going to give a running total and all that jazz of everything that we've earned and all that. But I probably will comment every day to just kind of let you know how much we made every day. Is just a general idea. And then one thing I'll do that's a little bit different is I will go ahead and also bring out, or at least say how much debt I took out, or how much debt I paid off, however you want to look at it. So today, or I should say yesterday in August, or last month in August, I ended up making just a little over $17,000. That was with a little $400 I made off of the contract for the oats, the bonus harvest. Wasn't very much at all, but that's what we ended up making off of that, and the rest was off a contract. So we ended up with a little over $17,000. As for our debt-wise, now this is where this kind of got to be unfortunate. We did start off with $30,000 in debt. I'm not going to count that as the running total or anything like that. We did end up tacking on $45,000 of debt, but I ended up paying $5,000 of that off, so really it ultimately came out to be $40,000, and that puts us at $70,000 in debt we're currently sitting at right now. So I am not a fan of that, but it is what it is, you know. It really is what it is, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. Unfortunately, we don't have the money to be able to purchase everything right off the bat. We can't get the best stuff. We can't get everything under the sun. We can't even buy basic equipment, to be 100% honest with you, until we do some more contracts, earn a little extra money, do some things like that. I mean, those are really our only options that we have moving forward. That's almost full. I'm going to go grab that trailer. I was thinking about going ahead and not, or I should say returning that trailer, because currently that brown trailer we had is leased. I think I'll just drive along the edge of the field here, not drive into anything. There's a big ditch. Oh no, we can slip through right here. I thought to myself, you know what, I don't want to get charged anymore for it. I don't want to charge for having that thing sit around. I don't really care to do that. But what I did end up doing is I did end up thinking to myself, my crop is going to be ready to go. This crop that I'm working on right now is going to be ready to go the next day, today. We might as well go ahead and just hang tight, hold on, and eat the one-time charge, I guess, if you want to say, and then kind of go from there as to how we want to move forward. So probably after we get done doing what we're doing right now, we'll go ahead and return that trailer. But actually, you know what? Once we come up here, let's go like this really quick. Let's go like this. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, there's this field over here. There's a couple contracts maybe that we could do here. But I'm thinking maybe, let's see, what do we got? 15, 3, and 11. What do we have there? 15, 3, and 11. 11's cotton, so the trailer that we got isn't going to matter. 3 is soybeans, and that's corn. I don't even have a header for that to make that work for right now. So this contract, we may end up having to lease the header to go ahead and take care of that. I don't know. I think for the time being, we'll go ahead and do these two. We'll let the contract or let that trailer expire, get rid of it, and maybe we'll do enough contracts over the course of today into tomorrow that I might be able to afford buying this one. Because I think this trailer was only like $14,000 to $17,000. It wasn't much at all. I got like the bare bones setup here, the bare bones minimum on it. Okay, so this is what it was. It was this price right there, $16,500. That's a possibility because, like I said, yesterday I made $17,000. We'll see. We'll see. But I think I'll go ahead and I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. I'll get this contract taken care of. Oh, that's right here. We got one contract that we have to collect really quick here. And that was for that fertilizing contract I picked up this morning. And that's when I went out and realized I had no lights on my tractor. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right, I got that. There are a ton of spraying contracts. You may see me leasing something and just knocking out all these contracts. So, yeah, that may be where you end up seeing me next. Maybe you'll end up seeing me after the harvest of my field over here somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere on the other side of the rainbow, I'm guessing. Oh, boy. All right, everyone. We are back. We're at it. And as you can see, I've made a choice. Fill that up too much to see how that handles. I've made a choice to go ahead and take on that contract. Now, what am I doing here? You do see this equipment that's sitting back over here, and I did one of those things where you lease the contract, or I should say, you lease the items to go ahead and do the contract. Let's come on here and take a look at this. We have field 5 and field 15. Field 5 is the one that I'm leasing the equipment on, and 15 is not what's going on. This one, I just accepted the contract for what it is. This one will take the hit on everything. But what I'm planning on doing is not completing this contract and just continue. I'll do that contract. I'll do that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. Just go through the whole list and knock them out. And at the very end, I'll go ahead and do this one. Now, I spent $2,400 on the herbicide. So just in this one contract alone, I should be able to make that up. Pretty darn slick. So we'll go ahead and we'll actually accept this contract right here, or complete this contract. This is the sorghum one. We ended up having about 500 liters left over, so I just saved it and put that in with the rest of the stuff that I got. Now, with that being said, what did I end up getting off of that particular load? So you got to remember there's about 500 liters in here, so we were roughly around 7,600 liters that we actually got off of our personal field. That does create a slight issue in my mind, because sorghum's only going to get to be so expensive where we can sell it for. We're going to have to kind of think about how we want to go and move forward with this. That field that what I was working on only had about an 83% yield bonus. I think what I'm going to end up having to do, even though I don't necessarily want to do it, I think I am going to have to... I think I'm going to end up having to go ahead and get a mulcher and a roller and take care of everything that way. Now, I'm not always a huge fan of... I gotta spread out a little bit more. I'm not always a huge fan of doing the mulching just because you're not getting that much extra out of it. You're not getting that much going forward. So I think for me, I picked that up. I think for me, I may end up doing that. If I don't mulch, let me put it this way: if I don't mulch, I am at least at a minimum going to end up rolling the fields, rolling the seeds back in. I'm gonna remove the rocks. That's more or less to prevent damage, and give me a couple extra bucks to compensate for maybe some of the leasing fees of various things that I want to get. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at. I don't know. I guess, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that idea right there? How do you feel about mulching? Are you guys, have you moved on from mulching? Was it fun when you first started? Are you done with it? Have you washed your hands? Is it just too much work for too little of a reward? Or what do you think? What are you guys feeling about that? Comment down below. Let me know what you have to say. Myself personally, I've pretty much moved away from the mulching. It's nice because it gives you that little extra yield and extra bonus, but unfortunately the way I take a look at it is that the price, the value, however you want to look at it, of all of that. Okay, that did complete it, good. All that extra work, all that extra time that you spend taking care of all this stuff, you get so little out of it. The percentage bonus wise, you get so little out of it, it doesn't make any sense. And time wise, the mulchers on this so far are really, really small. I guess one thing that I could ask from you guys is, do you happen to know? Do you happen to know if there's any snazzy mulcher mods out there? Oh man, I'd really like to know. I'd like to know if you guys know of any. As of myself right now, I don't really know of any decent sized, in this case, lower horsepower ones. But at any low or any horsepower ones, I'd like to know. I am curious about that. So if you could do me a favor, comment down below about that. Now I know this isn't the most glorious thing, and I've said that before, and I'll probably keep saying that. When it comes to having to do contracts, work your way up the ladder. I'm not a huge fan of doing it, but it's one of those things where I may want to go ahead and, gosh, the way 22 is set up now, with you having to have your crops grow for like 7 months and all that jazz, it really does make you utilize a lot of this extra time. It makes you utilize a lot of these extra steps. Like, oh well, some of this stuff just makes sense to do it this way. Why wouldn't you do it anyways? Kind of like if you're thinking about it, that's kind of a good way to think about with the mulching, or maybe even rolling your fields. Maybe even playing with stones, however you want to look at it. It gives you that extra time to be able to go ahead and do that stuff, especially if you are just kind of lined up. Perfect. Especially if you get multiple days per season, or multiple days per season, per month, I should say. It really does make a pretty big difference. Just taking the time, getting a lot of the extra stuff going on there. I guess kind of feeding off of that, it also goes ahead and makes you think about what's more important. If I have to go ahead and mulch, let's say mulch. If I have to go ahead and mulch a 10, 20, let's do 20 hectare field, 30 hectare field, something relatively decent sized. If I got to go ahead and do that, and the largest mulcher that we have available to us, what is it, only like 6 meters? Maybe even less? That's going to take an awful lot of time. You have to weigh it in your mind. Is it worth the time I'm spending on it? The little bit of percentage that I'm getting on it? I don't know. for me, most of the time, I really don't see it as being something that really is snazzy or great or necessarily worth the time that I'm putting into it. But overall outcome, that's something different. That's something different. Oof. She's just going to take a little bit. Now, where I'm recording this here now, it is, I think it is 2 days after the first DLC has come out for FS22, the Antonio Carrera pack, and I don't know, I haven't had an opportunity to really dive into it and look into it too much. I do have it on here as an option for us, but just my little preliminary looking around at it when we started getting the fact sheet Fridays coming out, I kind of compared it to what we already had on here in the game. And let's face it, the majority of that stuff is small equipment based for, well, pretty much based for doing vineyards and olive groves and all that jazz. But I guess to me, I'm failing to understand the reasoning behind necessarily going for that pack. So there are a handful of tractors on here. All of them are really small. This one is the smallest one here, 35 horsepower. The windrower? I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess I don't understand. I don't understand Giant's move. I like the idea of having different options when it comes to doing your work in the groves or anything like that. I like that. It's better than you're pretty much you have, where is it? This guy kind of works in there. This one definitely works, and this one works in there for sure. And then there's the Fent. So I mean, you take in a look at those. You got those options, and that's it. This pack does give you the options for doing that stuff, and it is a very, very specialized, if I would say, a very specialized setup. But as of right now, FS22 has so little options for low horsepower equipment. To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. But it is what it is, so I had already bought the season pass, and that's the risk I took. I guess that's another thing you guys can go ahead and do. Comment down below, let me know what you think about that pack. What do you think about it? Is it worth it? Are you guys gonna get a lot of use out of it, or is it a waste? I don't know. But I think what I'm gonna go ahead and do here is I am gonna keep rocking and rolling and spraying this field and the rest of them. And I will probably catch up with you guys a little later on when I have completed these spraying contracts, and I'll let you know how we do. I think we'll do fine. But I'll let you know how I do. Alright, now we did a fairly darn good job on all of that sweet action out there, doing that spraying. Made a couple bucks along the way, I would have to say. Not too shabby. I'm kind of happy about that, to be honest with you. We ended up making $11,108, so all in all, I'd have to say hot dog and good job on that. That is super cool. Yep, that's the plow I need. So what we're going to go ahead and do here right now is I did end up taking a couple more contracts. Fertilizing Contract was one of them, or I should say 2 of the contracts were fertilizing contracts. The other one was a cultivating contract. Now you might be telling yourself, well, geez, LockNutz, why'd you grab a plow? We have fields too. So oh man, I figure I'd go ahead, get out here, start rocking and rolling, giving our field a little rip while we have the opportunity. In between doing contracts, there is a plowing contract out there that we'll probably end up jumping on sometime soon here. Oh yeah. That's awesome. I'll have to go back and grab all that stuff. All right, get ourselves going here. One of the things we will end up looking at here too is there are some stones out in the field here, and they would appear to be some of the larger stones. At least that's what it's looking like to me. It does look like, oh shoot, it does look like we have some of them larger stones out here, so we may end up having to do something with them. You know, maybe not. Maybe these aren't the larger stones. Let me go ahead and take a look really quick here. What are we actually dealing with? Are these large stones? No, so far all these ones that are being picked up are just the small stones. So, well, that's kind of good news. That means there's an outside possibility we could just roll this stuff down and in instead of having to pick the stones up right away. At least it's an option of something we can do. Oh, that's right. We need to get this thing out of the way. I completely forgot what I'm doing. I'm going to take and drop this off once we get up around the corner there. And at that point, yeah, we'll get that trailer out of the way. A little shuffling, a little reworking of stuff that we have to do. Now, I thought about going ahead and expanding this section of the field right there. I know it's not much, but as of this point right now, I'm not very used to all the way that this map is necessarily set up. I'm not used to how things are going. I would hate to go ahead and plant crop right there and then run it over, to be honest with you. Another thing that I like to go ahead and do is when I'm looking to expand fields, I would much rather go ahead and expand fields. I'd much rather go ahead and expand fields when the field has to be limed. Now, this field right here does not have to be limed as of this moment, so I think, oops, that's gotta go a little bit farther. I think I'm gonna wait just a little bit until that one needs to be limed. It's just, I know it's not something that has to be done. It's just one of those things that oh shoot. I like going ahead and doing for my own, oh my goodness, it's gonna get in the way. This is going south, this is going south. Oh boy. Well, I'm not gonna ask questions. We'll just chalk it up to luck. I don't know. I don't know. Oh man, but like I said, we have made a couple bucks here. Made 14 grand. Now, this is where this gets to be tricky. What do we go ahead and do? I have debt. Myself personally, I like to go ahead and pay that debt off before I go ahead and make it back. I think I may have mentioned that. But I think we may hold on to the debt that we have. And I think we may go ahead and purchase a seeder. At least that's my initial gut reaction of what I think I'd like to go about doing here. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I can go ahead and take out a loan. But this field out here that we're plowing, it's going to mean absolutely nothing that we're plowing it unless we have something to put that stuff back into the ground. At least that's what I would think. Yeah, I mean, these contracts here have really helped us out a ton. They've really helped us sink our teeth into what we're doing here. It definitely does make me feel like we can go ahead and make some of this cash back. One of my big concerns was when I was doing that series on Klein's Land, it was pretty hard to make cash just because of the limited amount of fields and size of everything. Now, for granted here, we do have a limited amount of fields, and the sizes are not intense by any means. They're just not. I think where we make up with some of that is the type of contracts that are available to us, the different little nuances on how we can make a little bit of money doing this. I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm just scraping the paint, and I'm going to back this thing up, and I'm not even going to look at it. Not even going to look at it. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, man. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool being able to get out here, start ripping up our field, figuring out what we're going to end up doing with it, missing my turns. But ultimately, it's just good. It's just a good feeling. It's great to finally get this thing started, get underway. Come on. Let's get going. Trouble shifting there for a second. We got her back in tow. But as for what are we going to go ahead and plant in this field? That's obviously one of my next questions that I have. Now, I don't mind going ahead and sitting around and waiting for crops to become worth selling, I guess is a good way to say it. So what I'd like to go ahead and look at right here is I'll take a look at the price fluctuations. It is September. Okay, I couldn't remember where we were. September, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So around May, whatever crop we put in is going to be about when we're going to want stuff to be ready. Oats, that's all about there. Canola's not there. Sorghum's going down at that time. Grapes, I don't want to do grapes though. Sunflowers are kind of all over the place. Soybeans may be the way to go, because if they're right here, we can have them sit for just 2 months. I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal. I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal at all. I think soybeans are going to be the ticket here. I see that they're priced relatively nice, but ultimately it's more timing. Honestly, it's all about timing at this point. And speaking of timing, I think it is that time where we're going to go ahead, shut things down, get ourselves rocking and rolling. There goes that brave deer. Holy cats. So if you guys are liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like button. I would really, really appreciate it. If you want to help the channel out, go ahead and subscribe. It really does mean a lot, and it's free. Ooh, you betcha it's free. Go ahead, turn the notification bell on and have it set to all. That way you know when this and other great videos are coming out by myself. Go ahead and share this with someone that you love or someone that you hate. It doesn't really matter to me. It's up to you if you want to share this or not. Until we get to that point, we're back out here rocking and rolling. Thanks for stopping by.